The new Google Gemini 2.5 update is absolutely insane and it's completely free to use. I'll be guiding you through exactly how to use it. I actually just built this game in like one prompt, as you can see right here, using the agent and the coding from Gemini completely for free. Like you can see, it's pretty insane how easy that was to do. I'll show you exactly how I built it, plus some of the best prompts that you can use with it. And honestly, I'm super impressed with this model. It is unbelievably good compared to some of the paid models out there. And this just came out a few hours ago. So this is Gemini 2.5 directly from Google, just announced. So you can see this is their most intelligent model yet. I'll show you some benchmarks in a second as well. And as you can see right here, this was just announced March 25. So they said Gemini 2.5 is a thinking model designed to tackle increasingly complex problems. Our first 2.5 model, Gemini 2.5 Pro Experimental, leads common benchmarks by meaningful margins and showcases strong reasoning and code capabilities. Now, if you want to get access to this, you can actually get access at aistudio.google.com, and you can just select the model over here. So if we click in the top right, you can see Gemini 2.5 Pro Experimental. It is completely free. You will not pay a single moolah for this API, all right? And you can see the input and output costs are zero right there. This is great for coding. You can see an example of how I coded the pixelated dinosaur endless runner. So literally I just said, make me a captivating endless runner game, key instructions on the screen, some instructions on like P5JS scene, no HTML, pixelated dinosaurs and interesting backgrounds. Boom shakalaka, that worked in one single prompt. And this is really easy to build. Plus, you can get free API keys to code with it, which I'll come on to later in this video. So pretty amazing stuff, to be honest with you. You can see the 2.5 release is an experimental version of the Pro, and it's debuting at #1 on LM Arena by quite a big margin. So let's take a look at the leaderboard here, and we'll pull it up and see what we've got and how it's performing. So this is LM Arena, which basically like everyone can test and vote on, which AI performs the best. So for example, like Grok 3 is coming in #2. Gemini 2.0 Flash Thinking was #4, and that's a previous model of Gemini 2.5. So that shows you how powerful Gemini 2.5 Pro Experimental is. ChatGPT 4.0 is down here. DeepSeek R1, O1, Quen 2.5 Max, Gemma 3, etc. They're all further down the leaderboards by a long way. Claude 3.7 Sonnet is not even top 20 here, right? You see it ranks #21, and that shows you how powerful Gemini 2.5 Pro Experimental is. Now, if you want to get access, it's completely free. You can code with it. Let's have a look at some of the benchmarks right here. So if we pull these up side by side, so you've got Gemini 2.5 Pro highlighted in blue in this column, and then we can compare this versus OpenAI O3 Mini because it is a thinking model, and we can compare it versus GPT 4.5, Claude 3.7 Sonnet, and Grok 3 Beta. Now, I'll be 100% honest with you. I really love Claude 3.7 Sonnet. Like, it's probably my favorite model for writing content. I'm not a big fan of O3 Mini. I don't use it much. 4.5, I love for its EQ. It's actually really good at, like, for example, responding to a team or solving problems for you or anything that involves, like, emotional reasoning, if that makes sense. So, like, answering and dealing with people. So let's compare some of the benchmarks here. And you can see for humanities last exam, Gemini 2.5 Pro is winning. For GPQA Diamond, 84%. That is destroying pretty much everyone apart from Claude 3.7 Sonnet. Mathematics, it is doing very, very well here. As you can see, it's basically dominating all the benchmarks. Now, I always take these with a little pinch of salt, but you get the idea. You can see how well it's doing. And it also comes with new ways for reasoning, as you can see right here. So in terms of reasoning, it's performing pretty well in terms of science, mathematics, reasoning, and knowledge. It's scoring 18.8% versus OpenAI O3 Mini's 14%, and everything else is lagging behind. For science, it's scoring 84%, everything else is lagging behind. And for mathematics, it's scoring 86.7%, which beats OpenAI O3 Mini's model of 86.5%. Bear in mind, OpenAI O3 Mini is a paid model. Gemini 2.5 Pro is a free model. Right? Huge difference right there. Huge difference. So now we can see, how well it performs at coding. So I actually created this game right here and it actually did work. It's not just like some random made up prompt that doesn't work. This performed beautifully when I tested it. And also this is building on the Gemini models. I'm wondering if it's available at gemini.google.com google.com/app. Let's just have a look here in the list. So yeah, you can select it on the advanced mode, right? So if you're on the advanced mode of Gemini, then you can select it right here. And you can see it says 2.5 experimental. So you can use it directly in the chat as well. Let's just try the same prompt. So I'm going to scroll up and we'll grab this prompt over here. Let's copy that. We'll plug it into Gemini. We'll see how it performs. And it is super fast. Look how fast it is at responding. So it's got the thinking mode enabled. It's like a reasoning and logic model. And then we should be able to get the outputs in a second. So yeah, it's coming back to us. It's creating the JavaScript. I do love the speed. Like the speed is just something that makes a huge difference. Last thing you want to be doing is like waiting all day for an AI to respond to you. That is a waste of time and kind of counterproductive right there. So Gemini is doing really well. Honestly, you know, when the first Gemini models came out originally, it seemed really basic to me. It didn't impress me at all. It didn't seem to outperform even stuff like DeepSeek and stuff like that. Whereas now the AI models from Gemini and Gemini itself is just getting like better and better and better. So impressive stuff right there. It also gives you instructions on how to set this up. So it's like, right, how to run the code. So we'll click over here. We'll grab the code that we just got from Gemini. We're going to hit play on there. And then we've got Pixel Dino Run set up and ready to go. It's a game. Let's press start and see if this actually works. So it looks like it's working. Look at that. Amazing. Graphics incredible. It's better than those Flash games I used to play at school. I don't know if anyone else used to play those Flash HTML games at school, but they were way more basic than these, to be honest. And now you can code it. You just come up with an idea. You give Gemini the code. It tells you how to run it. Boom, shakalaka. You go from idea to code in the space of seconds, right? And if you've ever heard the definition of power, basically power equals, how fast you can go from idea to execution, right? So for example, like a god could literally just take an idea and then implement it within, a snap of the finger. But if you, for example, are coding something, it makes you very, very powerful with these sort of AI models, and they're completely free. And you can go from idea to execution in the space of seconds, not minutes, months, or years. So this gives you an idea of how to use it, what you can use it for, etc., how to get access. You can see some examples of what we've built with it, how it works, etc. Let's have a look at how people are reacting to it right here. So Sundar Pichai, who is obviously the CEO at Google and Alphabet, he actually ran a nice little thread. So he's talking about the dinosaur game right here, which actually works. As you can see, pretty simple to do. I've read you through all the details right here. You can also see how it runs in terms of like quantum electrodynamics animations and that sort of thing. It's very good at complex maths, which is super powerful. It performs very well on the benchmarks, and it is unbelievably good from what I've seen, to be honest with you. So let's run it through a few prompts right now, and we'll test it out, and we'll see how this is doing, all right? So let's have a look at this as well. So some people are creating like interactive health and economic charts, nebula simulations. I just like the name of that. Let's see what we got here. Look at that, nebula simulation. Incredible. Dinosaur game, cosmic flash demos. Like, there's just so much cool stuff that you can build with it and how you can use it. Really, really impressive stuff. So I'm absolutely loving it at the minute. Let's run it through a few more tests right now. So we've tested it for coding. It's doing a really, really good job. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a new tab. Again, if you want to use this for free, just go to aistudio.google.com, go to the library, and then go to create a prompt. Select your model in the top right. You can use this free. And if we say, for example, okay, create an SEO agency landing page. I'm just going to go with something basic like that, see what we get out of it. Really basic prompt, but I want to test the power of it as well. So we're going to see what we get back from this. And also what we can also do is just get some prompts from the AI Profit Boardroom and then use these as well to start creating some content and that sort of thing. So let's see what we got here in terms of prompts. Yeah, here's an example. All right, so I'm going to grab this video transcript prompt and we'll see if it can actually create like really nice video transcript ideas right here. This is looking pretty basic. All right, we'll come back to that in a second. So I'm going to go into aistudio.google.com. We're going to go to create a prompt. select Gemini 2.5 Pro. Then we shall select this prompt over here. I'm going to go over to YouTube, and I will grab an example transcript from one of my videos. And we'll use that to create a blog using Google, right? So we'll go to transcripts, grab the transcript like so, and see how this is for creating blog posts and that sort of thing. All right. So basically what we're doing is we're saying, you know, create a nice little transcript for my video, create a blog out of it, etc. It's working its magic right there. Super fast. What we can also do is we can open up multiple tabs of this, right? So for example, we can just go to create prompt and create 2 different tabs, creating 2 different, you know, use cases for it. So for example, if I say in here, create the best possible design for an SEO cost calculator, you can. Make it sleek, modern, and beautiful in HTML. We'll run that and see how that performs, all right? So now we've got the blog post from Google right here. So this is the article, and it's just smashing out the content. Look how quick it is at responding to us. Plus, it's got nice links to our funnel. So for example, if we click that, that will go straight to the AI Profit Boardroom. There we go. Nice and easy. If we check the word count on that, let's see how long the word count is. So it's writing 1,500 word articles straight off the bat. Let's read the actual content quality and see what it's like as well. So it's come up with some nice headlines. This new free AI tool changes everything. Free AI just outperformed the big guys. Here's how. Unlock a top tier AI model. Like, I could actually use these for YouTube titles, to be fair. The content is quite humanized. The only thing that, I mean, for example, it's like, right, it's called Quen 2.5 VL32B. Big name, I know, but here's the kicker. It's free to use and it's really good. This comes from the team of Alibaba, blah, 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 right? And so it's taken that video transcript, turned it into a nice humanized blog, reads really nicely, came up with a bunch of headlines, created a 1,500 word article, linked to all of our funnels and formatted it super nicely as well. And we just did that in one prompt. Boom. Crazy stuff out here. Now let's see what we got back from the SEO cost calculator. Again, like the speed is just outrageous. So let's see if we can run this inside the chat. I don't think we can actually. Yeah, we don't seem to be able to. So that's okay. What we can do is we can scroll down here and we'll test this out on liveweave.com. So this is the SEO cost calculator that we were talking about previously. We're going to grab the HTML here. We'll plug it in. And then also we're going to grab the CSS over here. So this is a design of it. And then we've also got the JS underneath, right? Now, if you're testing out Liveweave for code, what you want to do is you want to put your HTML top left, CSS bottom left, and then JS in the top right. Okay, so we'll grab that. We'll plug it in over here. Boom shakalaka. Let's see what we got back. Not bad at all. I think the design could be a lot nicer, to be honest with you. You know, I'm not going to be SE and tell you this is the best thing since sliced bread. Let's calculate the estimate. It does look nice on the quote and everything. The calculator works perfectly as well. It's definitely a lot more complex than other tools that I've used in the past. Let's see what Claude can do with the same prompt. All right, so we're going to compare Gemini 2.5 versus Claude using the same prompting method. All right, so we'll grab that prompt. We'll go over to Claude and we'll test it out, give it a cheeky whirl. Here we go. I mean, first of all, first thing I would say is like probably Gemini's 2.5 is faster. But we'll see what that comes back with. Also, I do like the fact that, you know, you've got a canvas feature directly inside Claude that you don't have inside AI Studio. However, if you go to Gemini, and this would be using the paid version, so I'm in advanced over here, and then we select 2.5 Pro Experimental, we use exactly the same prompt, and it should have Canvas enabled. Let's see if we can use Canvas. Actually, no, look at that. So if you go to 2.5 Pro, there's no Canvas option. If you're using the older versions, the 2.0 Flash, then you have Canvas, which means that you can preview HTML, right? So Claude is still winning in that respect, which is it gives you a canvas, you can preview the code, you don't have to mess around with live weave and all that sort of thing, which does save a bit of time. But let's see what we get back from Claude versus Gemini 2.5 Pro, and we can compare apples to apples in a second. Other thing to note here is, like, whilst you're waiting for this to load, is that we've actually got Open Router as well. So if you go to Open Router, you'll see trending right now on Open Router is the new Gemini Pro experimental version. All right, so it's completely free. It's a free API. You can plug that into Root Code or whatever your favorite tool is, and then start using that for coding as well. Right. So we've got the cost calculator back from Claude. Let's compare them side by side. All right. So this is the output from Gemini 2.5 Pro, and this is the one from Claude. All right. So which one do you prefer? Honestly, I would say that's a more complex calculator. If you look at it, it's got like nice little checkbox. You can switch between premium, basic, and standard. You can switch between the keywords. The UI itself is slightly more interesting, slightly more nicer designed. Plus, it's got a CTA. Let's see if it actually works though. So I'm going to change the competition level over here. Yeah, it actually does work. So it does give us an automatic investment as well. So this number changes based on the competition level and everything. So you see, if we change that, this changes in real time. Yeah, so I'm going to go with Claude for the SEO cost calculator test. Gemini 2.5 Pro is not as good as Claude for that. But I mean, considering this is free, whereas Claude has limits, and it's also very good at writing, creating stuff. Yeah, I mean, not bad at all. Not bad at all. So yeah, and then if you want the free API, you can just go to openrouter.ai and then grab an API key from here. So just go to keys, and then then you can start using this inside your favorite apps. So you can see here, for example, the apps using Gemini Pro Experimental 2.5. Number 1 is Klein. Number 2 is Root Code. You got a bunch of other options right here. Yeah, let's just test this out in Klein. So I'm going to go over to Klein right here. If you've never used Klein or Root Code, these kind of like IDEs that are completely free, right? So they're like coding tools that you can use to build stuff. So if you want to get Visual Studio Code, go to code.visualstudio.com, download it. It's completely free. And then inside the extension section over here, you can select whichever tool you want to use. So let's say, for example, we want to use Klein. Just type in Klein right there, and then you can install it. All right. And then once you've done that, you can go to Klein or whatever you use, and then go to your settings. And inside the settings over here, we can select Google Gemini, and you can get a free API key from Google Gemini. But what I can see here is that it doesn't have 2.5 Flash, right? So what we're going to do instead is we're going to go to Open Router, select Open Router in the settings, and then we'll put Google. And you can see Google 2.5 Pro Experimental for free is available as an API right there, right? Bear in mind, it doesn't support computer use, and it doesn't support prompt caching. It does support images, so it's a vision model, but you can use it for free with Open Router. And bear in mind, like Google's API doesn't have 2.5 inside Root Code, but if you select Open Router, that's how you can get free access to the API and start coding with it. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get all of my best prompts, tips, workflows, AI agents, templates, etc., feel free to get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. The prices are going up at the end of this month, so make sure you sign up now before you miss out. This is a community dedicated to making more money and saving time with AI. So if you want to save hundreds of hours and make more money with AI, make sure you sign up. And also, you'll get all of my best SOPs, tips, templates, workflows, etc. inside the AI Profit Boardroom, right? Including how, for example, I build N8N MCP agents or set up Root Code for computer use. I've got a course, a 3-hour course on like DeepSeek and Manus inside there as well. So feel free to get that. And also, if you ever get stuck, you can post inside the community, and that's 543 members exactly, any, for help or whatever you need. Also, we're constantly updating this. So you can see just this week, we added all these different updates right here, and you can get those directly inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Additionally, if you want to ask questions live, feel free to do that on the weekly Q&A course here, right? So if you have any questions, just ask them live on this Q&A course. There's actually one today, so you can jump on those. And if you have questions in between that, if you want your questions answered, etc., you got some questions that you're trying to get answered from YouTubers, but you can't, then you can post inside the community here, and then we will jump in to help you. Like you can see right here, all these questions are getting answered, right? And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to get that link in the comments and description. And on this free SEO strategy session, we'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visits a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales and autopilot. On this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free custom tailored link building plan to generate more leads, sales, and profits from your website. You'll discover the secrets of SEO link building, and we'll answer any questions you have one-to-one directly on that free SEO strategy session. Feel free to get it. Link in the comments and the description. So yeah, if you have any questions or that sort of thing, feel free to join the AI Profit Boardroom and just ask them in there so that we keep the live stream right here. Just focus on the right thing, which is talking about Google and everything else, right? So next up, what we're going to do is we're going to start talking about how to set up AI agents. I'll come on to that in a second. Just give me a minute. So today I'm going to show you how to build new Google AI agents using the free API directly from Google. So Google has just released the most powerful model ever, which is Gemini Pro 2.5 experimental. I've been testing it out today. It is absolutely insane. I can't wait to build some AI agents. And I'm going to show you exactly how to build these in multiple different ways. Basically build whatever you want using AI agents directly using this free API key. Okay, so first thing that we're going to do is we're going to sign into N8N. N8N is a free way to build AI agents if you host it locally or if you self-host it. And I'll show you exactly how to build your own AI agents using Google. All right, so what we're going to do from here is we're going to add a new step, and we'll just call this, for example, chat trigger. Now, basically what this means is that you're building a custom-made chatbot, and it's going to be triggered. Basically, the workflow is going to start every time you open up a chat message right here. Okay, so once we've done that, then we're going to click on plus sign, and now we're going to add in an AI agent. So if we click on AI agent over here, we've got that ready to go. We can add a system message, but I'll come on to that in a second. And then inside the chat model, we are going to select, I'm going to test this with OpenRouter. We should be able to use OpenRouter and Gemini 2.5 right here. There we go. So if we type in Gemini in the model section, we can go down to Gemini 2.5 Pro Experimental. Now, if you don't know how to set up OpenRouter directly inside N8N, it's super simple. So what you're going to do is you're going to go over to keys over here, create an API key, right? And then from there, you're going to go into the credentials section over here, hit the edit, and add in your API key once here, right? Once that's done, test the connection, make sure it's tested and working successfully. And once you've done, you've basically connected Gemini 2.5 Pro Experimental to your AI agent. Boom. So easy and simple to do, all right? Literally takes seconds. I've timed it before. It takes about 56 seconds to set this up once you got your head around it, right? So now we've created a new AI agent using the latest Gemini 2.5 Pro Experimental feature, NA10 is free if you host it locally or if you self-host it. And the API key from Google using Gemini 2.5 Pro is free as well. All right. So now we're going to ask you a question. I'm just going to say, okay, are you working? Let's test this out. That's going to run the chat message through the AI agent. And we've got a slight error here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, you're a helpful assistant, and we will test that step. Let's make sure that works. And what we can do here, maybe it's a model. So let me just delete that off here. And we're adding instead Google. So add Google Chat Gemini model. Then we're going to select 2.5 Pro experimental from the list there instead. And we'll test if that's working. That seems to actually be working. Boom. All right. So tip number one, if you're going to build NA10 agents with Google, don't use OpenRouter because I've just tested it and it's not working. Now, it might be working later. It's just because it's been released a few hours ago, but that's really important to know. It's like, don't use OpenRouter chat model. That doesn't seem to work directly inside NA10. Instead, what you want to use is the Google Gemini chat model. All right. Now, if you want to get a free API key for Google Gemini, you just go over to aistudio.google.com, get API key, create API key, and then plug that into the credentials section over here. All right. Test the connection works, and then you're ready to go. All right. Perfect. Glad that's actually working. Some people might be saying, is this particular workflow locally hosted? No, it's hosted on NA10 Cloud, but I do have self-hosted and locally hosted NA10 workspaces. All right. And I've got other videos if you YouTube that. If you just search Julian Goldie NA10, you'll see some videos about that stuff. All right. So we've created a basic sort of chatbot right here. If you actually want to publish this stuff, you can actually activate it right there. And then you can grab this URL, which says make chat publicly available. And this will basically create like a chatbot that you can access whenever you want. Right. But we're not going to use that for now. So from here, what we're going to do is I'm just going to say, what model are you? Double check that it's actually working. And it says, yeah, I'm a large language model trained by Google. Great stuff. All right. Now, what we can also do is we can add a memory to this. So if we click on the memory option over here, we can allow a simple memory. And then we can say, okay, remember the last 15 interactions, right? So you see where it says context window length. This allows our chatbot to remember the previous messages that were sent to the chatbot. All right. So we're going to select that as 15. We're good to go on that. All right. So now we've got an AI agent. We can customize it in the system messages to do whatever we want. We have connected Google Gemini 2.5 Pro experimental, which literally just came out a few hours ago, and you can use it for free. And then also inside the tool section here, we can, for example, set up an email workflow, right? So if we want this to automate our emails, we can click on Gmail tool over here. We're going to let the AI figure out the tool to section. We're going to let the AI figure out the subject section. I'm also going to let the AI figure out the message section, all right? So we've got email type as HTML. That'll make sure it's nicely formatted. The AI is going to figure out the subject and the message. We're going to have the operation as send. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to use our chat model, which you can see right here, to send emails. All right. So I'm going to say send an email to me at juliangoldie.com, telling him or inviting him to the Google 2.5 Pro Gemini experimental party that's happening this Sunday at 7 p.m. All right. It's going to be absolutely insane. I should have capitalized the word insane. So let's just make sure this is actually working. Hopefully it works because we're doing this live. You can see it's working its magic through the different Gmails. It's got the green tick on the send message section over here. So it said, okay, I've sent the email inviting Julian to the Google Pro Gemini experimental party this Sunday, 7 p.m. You can actually see the output here. So if we go over to Gemini, you can see the output inside Gmail. So you've got the subject, the to, and the message, all right? But let's just double check that we've actually sent that properly. So we're going to go over to the inbox over here. We're going to go to our sent items. We're going to click on this, and boom, look at that. Invitation, Google 2.5 Pro Gemini experimental party. We just sent it 0 minutes ago. And it says, hi, Julian, you're invited to the party. It's happening this Sunday at 7 p.m. Promises to be absolutely insane. All right. Hope you can make it. Best. And you're good to go on that. All right. So now we've not just built a chatbot, we've also built a functional Gmail email sender that can just fire off emails for us. We just give it minimal prompting and it's good to go. We can also delete that, so we can get rid of that if we want to. We can add whatever tools we want. So let's just get rid of that. And then inside the tool section over here, you can select whatever app you want to connect this to, right? So you can connect it to Discord, or you could connect it to, for example, like GitHub, Gmail, Google Ads, Google Analytics, etc. Like there's so many different tools that it can pull from. The Gmail one is just a quick example to show you on a video like this, all right? If you want to see some of my best workflows for stuff like this that gets a lot more complicated, then feel free to get that inside the classroom, inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. Go to NA10 templates. And then from here, we've got tons of different NA10 templates. Like, look at this bad boy. That's a little email analyzer. We've got a social media posting machine. Look at that one. Absolutely insane. You've got stuff like external links from page, etc. Like, if you want to get all of my best workflows and all of the best workflows that I've found for NA10, then you get it inside the classroom right here, right? So we're going to keep going right now. And next up, what we're going to do is we're going to connect this over to WordPress. All right. So, for example, we can say create a post. We're going to just do the title as Gemini Pro example. All right. Then for the content, we're going to take the output from the AI agent. So we'll drag that in over here. Again, all of this stuff is free. All right. NA10, you can host it for free, self-hosted. For creating the content, you can use Gemini Pro 2.5, completely free. All right. And then also WordPress. You know, that's a free tool that you can use. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to change the system message over here. And we'll change this now to you're a helpful SEO assistant. All right, you are an SEO assistant writing blog content based on my needs. All right. So what this is going to do is now take the chat message, plug it through the AI agent, and then plug it through WordPress. Super simple stuff. You can see how quick and easy it is to do. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to grab one of my favorite workflows from the AI Profit Boardroom before creating content. We're going to grab this content prompt like so. Let's grab that. Here we go. All right. And then inside the chat, we'll paste it in. All right. So we've got the prompt for creating the content. We've got the keyword over here. And inside the keyword, we'll now start, right, keyword equals SEO training London. Create an SEO optimized article for this. The AI agent should start creating that. So you can see it's using the prompt from the AI agent, plugging that through Gemini chat model. And then it should send it to WordPress. All right. Now, if you want to get an example of this, let me just download that. All right. I've downloaded the JSON. You can import it into NA10 if you want to. And I will put that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. All right. So if we go inside the classroom here, we'll go inside the S&P section. Then we're going to add a new page. And this page is going to be for the Gemini agent. So if you want to get this stuff, just steal it from me, etc., then you can grab this inside the agent. There we go. And that has created the post. Look at that. All while we were adding the page inside school. Beautiful. Okie dokie, piggity pokey. So I'm just going to put that in the bookmark section over here. There we go. Good to go. All right, let's check WordPress now and actually see if that's been sent. So you can actually see the outputs here as well. So if you want to check this stuff out, you can. Pretty simple and easy. Like you can see right here. We're going to log into good old WordPress. The slowest part of this workflow is just logging into WordPress and actually checking it's been sent. Like that's the setting up of AI agents is the easiest bit. Now, you might also be asking, okay, like how do you set up MCPs and how do you set up MCP servers? And do you have agents to do that? So if you actually go inside the S&P section of the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description, go to NA10 MCP agents and MCP agents section on the left-hand side. We have two different trainings on MCPs, all right? And a lot of people inside the community are posting about MCPs as well. You can see all these different workflows that we've got for MCP agents. So if you want to get that stuff, all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. All right, so we got the example from Gemini Pro, as you can see right here. Let's just scroll down, see what we got here. So yeah, you can see this article is ready to go. The only thing that I would improve with this is, like, you see how it's written in Markdown. Yeah, ideally you want to write it in HTML, right? So I'm just going to put, no, if you're an agent, put this in HTML. Not Markdown format. All right. So what I can do now is I can go back to the workflow, and if I wanted to format that much nicer, we can use exactly the same prompt. All right, so we'll grab that prompt, we'll just copy and paste it. But what we're going to do now is say, create an SEO optimized article for this, but put it into HTML format. Then we'll plug that in. That's going to work its magic. Again, completely free. And we've created a customized SEO tool in the space of minutes using a free API from Google and the API that just came out a few hours ago. Pretty crazy stuff, how easy it is and how fast it is to implement this stuff, how quickly you can move, right? You can get access to the most powerful API key in the world for free. It's not going to cost you a penny, all right? So let's wait for that to load. We'll refresh the page. By the way, if you ever want to watch this stuff in like slow motion and you want to watch back some live streams, etc., just go to the live section of my YouTube videos on YouTube, and you can watch back all of my live streams here, right? And you know, these go really slow. There's no edits on those live streams, obviously. So if you want to watch back this stuff in like slow motion, you can get it inside the live streams. Everything gets saved. All right, so we got this right here. And look at this, beautiful. All right, so we've got the page ready to go. It's nicely formatted. It's got links to our funnels. It's all personalized to me. It's selling us. It's formatted nicely, etc. It's customized. It's SEO optimized. It's got some bullet points, etc. All right. Actually, the writing is quite nice. Like, tired of fluffy SEO courses in London that don't deliver. Let's be brutally honest. Most SEO training out there is garbage. That's actually true. Seriously, it's either outdated, too theoretical, or generic fluff. You finish a course, maybe get a nice little certificate, but you're still stuck. Like, the content quality is outrageously good for one prompt, and it's all nicely formatted. It's better than a human writer, and you just automated this whole thing for free. Crazy stuff. You didn't even have to go onto WordPress and plug it in. So we're going to grab this now. And one thing I want to check in a second, let me go over to Zero GPT. It's just see, like, okay, what's the humanization on this? How does it perform in terms of AI detection? So we're going to run this through Zero GPT right now, detect the text, see how it performs, etc. And that is coming out at, wow, this is outrageous. It's coming out at 0% human written. Boom shakalaka. That's what we like to see, all right? So just to recap here, my friends, all right? You've just created an SEO SaaS software completely for free. NA10 is free if you self-host it. Google Gemini is free with the latest API key. Post into WordPress completely free, doesn't cost you a penny. You get nicely formatted articles like I've just shown you. It's all personalized to you using that prompt that I gave you from the AI Profit Boardroom. And then if we plug it in Zero GPT and we check the humanization and AI detectability of the content, look at that, comes out at 0% AI detectable. All right. So that gives you an idea of how powerful these workflows are, how easy they are to set up, and how easy it is to do, right? And if you want the template, go into the AI Profit Boardroom, then just click on import from file, and then you're ready to go on that. Let me show you how easy it is to import these AI agents as well, right? So if we click on create workflow over here, and then we're going to start from scratch, right? So there's nothing on this page, absolutely nothing going on here, right? Then if we click on import from file, we'll upload that JSON file, and boom, look at that. Agent set up in literally 2 seconds and 1 click. That's how easy it is to do. So you get the point. Like, this stuff is crazy easy right now, and it really doesn't take much thought at all. It's completely free. You can get it all set up like this using this process. All right. One thing as well you can test doing, and we didn't get really time today, but if you want to see this stuff, just let me know in the comments below, is we can also build AI agents with make.com. All right. So for example, we go to make.com over here. All right, and then inside make.com, we'll go to login. Just going to grab the password over here. There we go. Sign in. And what we can do inside make.com is we can create AI agents directly inside here, right? All my best workflows are inside the AI Profit Boardroom if you just want to import this stuff. But if we go to make and then we go to scenarios, and again, make.com is free as well for the first like 1,000 operations. And we can just create a scenario where we can link anything to OpenRouter and then use OpenRouter for the API key. The other thing we can do is if we type in Google, we should be able to insert API keys from Google. But yeah, if you want to get my best workflows for that, it's inside the AI Profit Boardroom. And that is how to build one-click Google Gemini 2.5 AI agents completely for free. Right? Simple, easy, works really well, proven to work. It actually gets really good outputs, right? Like, why are you still creating content yourself these days? Why are you not automating it? That's what I would ask some people here. So if you want to get access to everything that I've talked about today, feel free to get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments and description. Price is going up at the end of the month. And this community is focused on making you more money and saving you time with AI. So if you want to get access to that, feel free to get a link in the comments and description. This comes with all of my best workflows, templates, etc. for NA10 agents, ASEO automations, agents and workflows, email and content automation, social media video automation. So let me show you a crazy example of this, right? I actually posted this video the other day, and it's my top performing video for quite a while, which is, where is it now? This one. So this is an AI avatar generated video, and I actually reveal exactly how to do it inside the AI Profit Boardroom, right? This is training right there. So if you want to get the latest cutting edge stuff, including like MCP agents as well, feel free to get that. It's inside the SAP section if you want the MCP section. And then also, if you ever get stuck, you can ask the community. So there's 543 people you can ask inside the community for questions and help and that sort of thing. And also, if you want live help, live on a call, jump on the weekly Q&A calls like you can see right here. Ask any questions you have. We'll be happy to help. All right. Cheers for watching. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to get that link in the comments description. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visits a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot. And on this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free custom tailored link building plan to generate more sales and profits from your website. You'll discover the secrets of SEO link building. You'll be able to ask any questions on the call. And this is based on how we 10x the SEO clients traffic, like you can see from our happy clients and reviews right here. Feel free to get that link in the comments and the description. By the way, if you're wondering, okay, what's the best image generator, I would recommend personally using Grok. I think Grok and Flux creates the best images by far. Always creates the nicest images. All right, so if you got any questions, feel free to ask them on the Q&A inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Today, we got, how many people we got here? 238 people on the live stream. Not bad, not bad at all. Has anyone been testing DeepSeek and the new version of DeepSeek? Be interested to know. I'm going to come on to the next topic in a second. Wang Chung, you going full cap locks on every comment, mate. What's going on? Is your keyboard broken? Google Gemini 2.5 versus DeepSeek V3.1. All right. So in the last 24 hours, Google Gemini have just released their latest model, which is Gemini 2.5 Pro Experimental. As you can see right here, you can actually get free access to it. And you can also access DeepSeek as well for free. So they have DeepSeek V3.1, and that is available to access at deepseek.com. You can also get free APIs for both of them, and we'll be testing those out in a second. And basically what we're going to be doing today is just comparing them side by side. So these are the two latest AI updates, the two biggest ones in the game, I would say. And today we're going to be testing them out side by side and seeing which one performs the best. Now, the first thing that we're going to kick off with, because I like to give AI a challenge, is by coding a game. All right. So let me pull up an example right here. What I'm going to say to both of these models is make me a captivating, endless runner game. Key instructions on the screen. P5JS scene, no HTML. I like pixelated dinosaurs and interesting backgrounds. Now, I could use it inside Google Gemini, but this is like the paid version, right? This is the advanced paid version. I want to keep it fair. I want to keep it even Stevens on this comparison. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up DeepSeek V3 side by side versus Gemini 2.5 Pro and compare which model performs the best. Now, one thing to note here is that DeepSeek version 3.1 is not a reasoning model, right? Whereas Gemini 2.5 Pro is a reasoning model. So there is a significant gap between them, but I've been getting this request to compare them both side by side and compare the latest reasoning models. So let's see how they perform. I'm going to hit enter on both of them. So we'll give him exactly the same prompts right here. The other thing that I was struggling with yesterday, I don't know if anyone else had the same problem as soon as this came out, was that actually with DeepSeek V3.1, after they released a new update, tons of people were on the website, right? And so the servers were absolutely rinsed. It was super slow responding to us. So let's see if it gives us better responses today and how it performs. So, I mean, here's an example of the difference between a thinking model and a base model. So this base model with no thinking, it just jumps straight into answering the question. Whereas, for example, what you can see with Gemini 2.5 Pro is that it really thinks things out before it does anything, right? And it's going to spend about 10, 20, maybe even 30 seconds doing that before it finally comes up with the output. So we've got this back right here. We've got the example, and it's finished the outputs before DeepSeek. So it's actually a lot faster. Bear in mind, this is free, but Gemini 2.5 Pro is a lot faster at getting back to us and typically smarter as well. And it gives us instructions on how to run it as well. So you can see how much slower DeepSeek V3.01 is. Now what we're going to do is we're going to test this out. So we're going to copy the JS from Google 2.5 Pro Experimental. We'll plug that in and we'll open this up. All right, so we're going to hit preview like so, open this bad boy up, see how it performs. And there we go. We've got the game ready to go. All right, that was pretty amazing, incredibly easy to set up, works perfectly. Actually quite a fun game as well. That's kind of addictive. So I'm going to close that now. And now we have the output back from DeepSeek as well. So let's copy that JavaScript over here. So let's go into this. We'll plug it in. We'll open this up. So this is the version from DeepSeek instead. Let's see what we got. Not bad, actually. I mean, which one would you prefer? I actually think that... but look at... That's... It's not bad. It's quite hard to see the score in the UI right there, but I do prefer the design. Like, and it's got more flying objects. For some reason, it put game over there when we didn't have a game over. It's got differences between night and dark. But it's broken. Look at that. I've not done anything, and it just broke and said game over for no reason. It seems to switch between night and dark, like in between each... night and day in between each go. But there's not many enemies coming here as well, so it's not as addictive as a game. So, all right, so I'm going to say Gemini 2.5 Pro won there. But not bad at all. Not bad at all. I'm impressed by DeepSeek V3.01's response right there. Pretty good stuff. Next up, what we're going to do is we're going to compare this for the content creation. All right. So I'm going to grab an example prompt from the AI Profit Boardroom, and this is going to be my content prompt. All right. So we're going to grab this like so. We'll copy this, as you can see. So this is one of my favorite prompts for writing SEO content. And we're going to run this through Gemini 2.5 Pro, as you can see. And we'll put keyword equals SEO training in New York. And then we'll do the same inside DeepSeek V3. And we'll see which one creates the best content. One of the strange things here is like DeepSeek has just gone off and started creating a HTML page, which doesn't really make sense because we only want an optimized article. I know why. It's because on the prompt it says create an HTML at the end. That's okay. All right, we'll see what the performance comes back with in a second. For sure, Gemini, even though it's a thinking model, this is way faster than DeepSeek. Look how much quicker it is at responding versus DeepSeek. This already finished. DeepSeek is still going. All right, so we're going to test this out now. We'll grab that content, the HTML, and we'll plug it into the preview over here. And we'll see which one performs the best. All right, so if we compare the titles, we've got the Gemini 2.5 Pro output over here, and we have the output from DeepSeek version 3 on the right-hand side, okay? So if we compare the output, first thing that I would say is that the title is pretty bad from Gemini Pro, right? So it said, real SEO training in New York, stop guessing, start ranking. Pretty average, to be honest with you. SEO training in New York, the fast track to dominate in search, not bad at all. Honestly, Claude can write much better headlines than both of these, but you get the point. And then what we're going to do from here is we'll compare them side by side. So if we look at the first line, DeepSeek just feels a lot more humanized in its content writing. So for example, we see here it says, need SEO training in New York that actually works, not just theory, but battle-tested strategies from someone who's built a seven-figure agency. Like that is not bad at all. As I mean, that's better than most humans could do as an introduction. If we look at this, it's like looking for effective SEO training, effective being like a weird rule, because your website's buried somewhere on page 10. Okay. Tired of SEO gurus selling you fluff, feeling overwhelmed by conflicting advice. Yeah, I get it. I just don't think that's as convincing versus DeepSeek's output right here. And then I really like this bit. So it's like, here's the truth. Most SEO courses waste your time. Mine won't, right? And it's all personalized to me and what I sell, and it's already selling me from paragraph 1. So I would say the output from DeepSeek version 3 actually wins in terms of writing content humanization. I would say both are not as good as the typical content that I get back from Gemini 2.5 Pro, but you get the point. So in terms of coding, and this makes sense. So in terms of coding and building stuff out, Gemini 2.5 Pro definitely seems a lot better, right? In terms of writing content and humanizing it, DeepSeek version 3 is outperforming both, all right? So let's come on to another example. And this time, I'm going to say there's a tree on the other side of the river, and I need to pick its apples in winter. Okay, and then we'll say, but the river is frozen. What do you recommend? All right. And what we're looking for here is kind of like, it's like a reasoning challenge. So we're trying to figure out, okay, like, you know, can it come up with solutions? Can it figure out that the trees actually don't have apples in winter and that sort of thing? But we'll see what it comes back with and see which one. Now, honestly, Google Gemini 2.5 Pro should smash this, all right? So you see here how the first thing the Gemini 2.5 Pro recommends is like assess the apples first, mate. Are they like even worth it? Because most apples ripen in late summer and winter. Apples still on the tree in winter are likely frozen, rotten, overripe, or damaged. All right. So first things first, like why would you even be picking apples in winter, mate? That's what it's saying. Whereas, for example, if we go over to DeepSeek version 3, it just doesn't figure out. So it's like, well, let's check the ice thickness. Let's get over the river, right? It doesn't really recognize that actually in winter, there are no apples on the tree. So you can see the difference here. This is certainly a lot better for reasoning, a lot smarter. Also for speed here, it's a lot faster. Right? It's a lot faster when we get the outputs. So let's keep going right now. So in terms of, just to recap here, in terms of coding, Gemini 2.5 Pro wins, right? For reasoning, Google wins. And for writing content, DeepSeek version 3 wins. So now what we're going to do is we are going to test this out for the API, all right? Now, the way that we're going to do this is I'm going to go over to OpenRouter, keys, and I've created an API key from OpenRouter, all right? And then what we can do inside Visual Studio Code is we can say to root code inside the settings, use Gemini 2.5 Pro Experimental for now, and we'll say create the best possible SEO ROI calculator you can, both for UI and functionality. All right. And that's going to use the API key from Gemini 2.5 Pro, as you can see. And you can see here that actually the API request has failed. So even though this key is free to use inside OpenRouter, it's actually not working inside Klein when we test it out. Now, if we switch to the settings and we'll test if DeepSeek works. All right, so we'll switch over to DeepSeek, and then we're going to use V3 0324, which is the latest update. I'm going to give it exactly the same prompt. Start new chat. Same prompt, we're using DeepSeek here. We'll see if this works. Here's a moment of truth. Which API key works? Taking its sweet time. Yeah, so you can see here it's finally getting back to us. It's super slow, to be honest with you. Like if you're using the free version of DeepSeek, super slow. Like look how slow that is to start creating stuff. Now let's test it out versus Google. All right, so we're going to go over to select Google Gemini inside the API key section here. Just going to cancel this. So we'll cancel that task. We'll go over to the API key, and then what I'm going to do is select Google Gemini. I'll grab an API key and make sure that we can use 2.5 Pro Experimental. Is that available here? I actually can't see it. Yeah, we can't use 2.5. And let's have a look inside root code. Can we use 2.5 yet for Google Gemini? No, we cannot, my friends. All right, well, that settles it. So DeepSeek might be slow on the API key, but it actually responds, all right? It actually works. Whereas if you're using 2.5 via OpenRouter as an API key in Klein or Visual Studio Code, you can't use it, right? So if you're going to be coding with these tools, then I would recommend DeepSeek V3 0324, simply because it actually works. Whereas Google's API is not available inside Klein or root code yet. And also with OpenRouter, the API call requests just don't work yet. So that gives you an idea. One thing I want to check as well is we compare these side by side. It's not available yet, but I think that will come soon, which is DeepSeek V3.1, right? So for example, DeepSeek's models are open source, which means that you can host them locally. So for example, the last version of DeepSeek V3 is available to host locally with Ollama. You can't host V3.1 yet, but I think that is coming. So give it a bit of time and that'll be available, I reckon, to download and start using straight away as well. Now, again, just to be clear here, you can select Gemini 2.5 Pro on OpenRouter as the API key, but it's not working when you call it, right? So if we go into root code here, we'll select Gemini 2.5. All right. We hit save, we'll hit done. We'll give it the same prompt, start a new chat. When I checked it, it was not working. All right. So let's just double check. Oh, it actually seems to be coming back and working now. Fair play to it. Oh, yeah. So I suppose, I mean, maybe it's a little bit temperamental, but that seems to work inside root code, to be fair. So actually, it seems like OpenRouter and root code work really well, but Client didn't seem to work right there. So if you're going to code, Gemini 2.5 Pro works, but use it inside root code, don't use it inside Client. And then you can get the API keys. And I think that'll be much better for creating content and coding. It seems to be a lot faster than DeepSeek version 3's API key as well. And again, it is free to use as well. So let's see what it comes back with now in a second. Wait for that code to load. But then it runs out. Look at that. It runs out right there. Yeah, look at that. So we actually just building a simple SEO ROI calculator. The API request gets exhausted. And also for some reason, it says it's using Gemini 2.0 Pro experimental, but in the settings, we've selected 2.5 Pro experimental. So that doesn't make sense either. Just something to be aware of. It seemed to get itself back on track there, but it seems super buggy. Quite slow, quite buggy. I would be careful using that for now. Like if you want something super reliable, just use the older versions of Google and you'll probably get better outputs and better response rates. All right, so thanks so much for watching. If you want to get access to all the prompts, tips, workflows, my best NA10 agent workflows, etc., you can get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments and description. Prices are going up at the end of the month, so make sure you sign up now. This is a community dedicated to making more money and saving time with AI. And also inside the community, you can post any questions that you have and ask 543 members for help. You can also jump on the weekly Q&As, ask any questions you have. And inside the classroom here, we have a crash course on all my best AI systems for saving time, making money, along with all of these SOPs, including, for example, a 3-hour course on DeepSeek, which you can see right here. All my best AI agents and DeepSeek automations. We've got all sorts of stuff inside here, including MCP agents, NA10 MCP agents, root code, computer use, etc. So if you want to get the latest cutting edge stuff, all of the best stuff is inside the AI Profit Boardroom. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, then feel free to get that. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors this month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales and multiplier on this free link building acceleration session. You'll get a custom tailored game plan. You'll be able to ask any questions you have one-to-one. You'll learn how to 10x SEO traffic based on what's working for us and our happy clients, like you can see right here. Feel free to get that link in the comments and the description. By the way, if you want to see like whether content actually ranks with AI, here's an example, right? So for example, if we type in Manus free alternatives into Google, like you can see right here. You can see that this video is ranking #1 along with my second video, and also this Medium article right here that we created just a couple of days ago, right? Pretty crazy stuff. Yeah, this content ranks really well, super easy. I mean, if we type in Manus alternatives as well, you can see 1, 2, 3 videos ranking on the first page of Google right here. And then if we scroll down, you can see that this Medium article created with some of the workflows that I show you is ranking on Google as well. So it's pretty crazy how easy it is to rank this stuff, how powerful it is, etc. DeepSeek DeepSeek V3.1 build anything. Today, I'm going to show you how to build anything using DeepSeek. I'll show you multiple different ways and some of the most powerful workflows that you can use with the latest version of DeepSeek V3.1. All right. So, for example, here is an example of a game I actually built using DeepSeek V3. Now, the first way that you can access this and start using DeepSeek and the newest update from it is if you go to deepseek.com, like you can see right here, then you're going to go to start now. And then inside here, you can start using DeepSeek for free. So for example, if we use a prompt like make me a captivating endless runner game, key instructions on the screen, P5 JS scene, no HTML. I like pixelated dinosaurs and interesting backgrounds. Who doesn't? All right. We're going to copy this code that we got from DeepSeek V3 right here. And this is how to build games directly. Okay. So the way that you can start running this code is you can go to editor.p5js.org, paste in the code from the AI right here. Then we can hit play in the top left. And now we have our game ready to go, right? And we have the pixelated dinosaur. He's having a great time. And then we can start running this like you can see. If we press R as well, then we can restart and we're just jumping over the obstacles and building up a top score right there. This should also switch between day and night, I believe, halfway through the code. Like you can see, you're also gathering a score in the top left. And we just created a fun interactive game that's super addictive in the space of like one click. Pretty insane if you ask me. And that's how you can build games using DeepSeek or anything you want really inside the chat directly for free. All right. Next up, if you want to start using, for example, like a canvas generator, you can go to huggingface.co/spaces, this username /anychat, right? So the username is spelled AKHALIQ /anychat. And then you can start using this. So for example, if we select from the Hugging Face model, DeepSeek V30324, we can start building this out, all right? So if we say now, okay, I'm just going to escape off that. Inside the code here, to-do list, all right, create a simple to-do list with add and remove functionality. Hit generate just as a basic example to show you. This should start coding out the HTML. So you can see this on the left-hand side. Again, this is like a free tool that you can build out apps and whatever you want. And if we test this out, okay, test DeepSeek as the example task, hit add, we're good to go on that, all right? We can also, for example, if we clear the history right here, and then we'll say, okay, create a beautiful SEO cost calculator, hit generate. Again, that's going to code the HTML on the left-hand side over here. And again, this is completely free, right? It doesn't cost you anything to build stuff like this out. It's coding the HTML on the left-hand side. And then once that's completed, we'll be able to see a live preview of the tool that we built. And by the way, like, I don't code. I have no coding expertise. Literally just built this out with one single prompt using DeepSeek V3, and it didn't cost us a penny. Plus, all we said was create a beautiful SEO cost calculator, and boom shakalaka, we're ready to go, right? So you can put in the business type, the competition level, number of keywords to target, number of pages to optimize, hit calculate SEO cost, and then we've got the SEO cost plus a nice little UI right there, right? And so you can build tools out with this. You can build apps like the to-do list app. You can build games like we did inside the chat right here. And none of this has cost us a single penny, right? Really powerful stuff. So let's test something else out right now. So I'm actually going to go to, let's test it out on NA10. NA10 is a great place to start building AI agents. And we can do this for free as well inside NA10 if you locally host it, right? So if you host this locally or you self-host your NA10 workplace, I have a video tutorial on exactly how to do that on YouTube or inside the AI Profit Boardroom. But essentially, we can use this to start building our AI agents, right? Now, if you want to see how quick and easy this is to do, let me open up Google and we'll set up the stopwatch, all right? So we're going to go from nothing to setting up a AI agent with DeepSeek version 3 that can just automate stuff for us, all right? So if we hit the timer right here, we're going to go to create a new workflow, and the timer is on, the race is on. Let's see how long it takes us to build this out. So we're going to put chat trigger. Here we go. Then we're going to type in AI agent. There we go. Then from here, we're going to start setting up the chat model. We'll put open router. And then inside the model, we'll type in DeepSeek. We're going to select V30324, the free API key over here. And then inside the system instructions, we're going to put system message or helpful assistant. Now that took us 36 seconds, right? 36 seconds to build out an AI agent that's just like a one-click sort of chatbot. And if we open up the chat over here, let's just test this work. So we're going to put, are you working? That's going to run the API key for open router. Let's see if this actually works. He put me to the test. He put me on the spot here. And boom shakalaka, look at that, all right? So we said, are you working? And in 36 seconds, we timed it together. You can see that it says, great question. As an AI, I don't work in the traditional human sense, but yeah, I can help you. Boom, all right? Now, if you want to make this more advanced, all right, pretty simple stuff. So what we can do over here, and we'll add time onto this, all right? So we'll allow extra time onto this. And we're going to add in a new tool here. We'll put Gmail tool. We're going to put send. AI can select to, from, message, etc. X off that. Pause the timer. That took us 47 seconds in total to build out an AI agent that hopefully can send us emails. But let's test this out and see if it actually does it, all right? So I'm going to say, all right, send an email to me at juliangoldie.com telling him how crazy it is that I just built an AI agent in 47 seconds that can automate my emails. So let's see if this works. It looks like we might, it says no endpoints here. Let's just double check that actually works. I'm going to switch over the APIs to V3 or 324. We'll see if that works. That seems to actually be working. Wait for it to load. It's using the Gmail. It's sending it over. You can actually see what it's doing and how it's doing. So if you go over here, you can see the output, the response, etc. And we have sent the message. Beautiful. All right, incredible. We'll put the output right here. It says the email has successfully been sent. Subject equals mind-blowing AI agent in 47 seconds. And look at that. We've got the sent email right there. Mind-blowing AI agent, 47 seconds. Hey, Julian, I just had to share this with you. I built an AI agent in literally 47 seconds that can automate my emails. How crazy is that? The future is here in its world. Let me know what you think. The actual writing is super nice as well. It feels like really humanized. and it is way more interesting than most emails I've read this week, to be honest with you. So this is just wild, wild stuff. All right. So just to recap here, I've shown you how to build games in like one single prompt that work perfectly using simple prompts like this. I've shown you how to build apps and tools that are more beautiful than most software developers can do in like the space of a few clicks. And I'm also showing you how to automate and build a chatbot in 36 seconds that's completely free and answers your questions, and also how to build an email agent that automates your emails in 47 seconds and sends emails that are better than humans and far better than most assistants you're going to hire. Right? And we did it in 47 seconds. We timed it together. Wow, crazy stuff. All right, so next up, let's keep it rolling, peeps, because it's not enough to end it there. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go over to Visual Studio Code. Now, if you don't have this set up, I've got full SOPs on it inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. But just go to code.visualstudiocode.com and you can download this for free. Once you've done that, then you're going to go over to Visual Studio Code. You're going to download Client and Root Code. I personally prefer Root Code, to be honest with you. And what we can do in here is we can start automating and building out, like, for example, websites, right? So, for example, if we go to Settings over here, Open Router, and then you can see we can select between the different API keys. So if we type in DeepSeek, if you want to use the free version, so actually, I think it's better to type in V3. That seems to come up with the option better and quicker. So we can type in V3 and it'll come up with DeepSeek Chat V3 0324:free. All right, so that's a free API key if you want to use a free API key, like you can see. It doesn't support images or computer use, but it can code for you. All right, so we're going to hit done like so. And then what we're going to do over here is we can say, okay, create a landing page for my SEO agency. All right, beautifully designed, modern plus interesting. Okay. And what we can do inside Root Code is this is really good for building projects locally. So for example, if you've got a big website that you want to automate with AI, then you can use the API key that's free from Open Router, plug that into Root Code and Visual Studio Code, and then start automating and building stuff out. And it shouldn't cost you a penny, my friends, all right? Now, this is a beta API. It just came out, like, I think about 24 hours ago. So it may be slower than most things that you use, but it's free. You can build it locally. It doesn't cost you anything to do. It's very quick and easy to use. You don't need any coding experience, and you can just automate and build websites, like you can see right here. So let's wait for this to load and we'll see what we get back. So yeah, you can see now he started coding out the project. It's even come up with a name for our SEO agency. So it's put Elevate SEO, and it's just going to start building out the HTML, the CSS, and the JS, right? So this is really powerful. You might be asking as well, like, can I use this for rebuilding my website as well? So you can use this for rebuilding out your own website as well. The way that you would do that is you would take your existing content, you would download it as a project, and then you can open up that project folder inside Root Code or Client or Visual Studio Code and edit the website from there. Now, always keep a backup. You know, this could mess things up, but that's a cool thing because if you download it and use it locally, then you can edit it later, or you can push it to a GitHub or whatever you want, right? A private GitHub, and host the project files right there. But it's so easy to automate and build stuff, you know, for example, websites or landing pages directly using this process. Pro tip for you as well, you know, just whilst we're waiting for that to load, is that if you actually go into Open Router and you select Gemini 2.5 Pro, you can use the latest API key from Gemini 2.5 Pro, and that's even more powerful for automating and building stuff offline than DeepSeek version 3. But if you want to build out websites or build anything with DeepSeek version 3, go ahead, my friend. I'll show you exactly how to do it, all right? So it's building that out step by step, like you can see right here, really easy and simple. It's now coding the CSS, so it's got the HTML, then it's going to do the CSS. You can switch between the tabs at the top, like you can see over here. And that does not take long at all. All right, so I've shown you how to build agents, how to build websites and landing pages. I've shown you how to, for example, build out games, shown you how to build out email assistants, and also how to build out apps as well. All right. Last thing that I want to show you is how to build out workflows and automations using make.com and DeepSeek. All right. So if you want to do that, pretty simple as well. I would actually say that make.com is easier to get your head around than NA10. And this is a free tool if you only do like 1,000 operations per month. What you can do is create a new scenario over here. And then you can just start building out whatever you want using, for example, like Google Sheets or whatever. And Open Router. All right. So if we type in Open Router over here, create a chat completion, you can connect your Open Router API key to this module over here. Then inside this section, you're going to type in DeepSeek. And as you can see, you can select between these three models of DeepSeek. All right. So what you're going to be using, if you want to use the latest version of DeepSeek, DeepSeek V3.1, is select this option right here. It is free to use. You can hit save. You add a little message. We'll add the message role as user, and then you can connect this to, for example, like WordPress. All right. Create a post, boom shakalaka. You can just automate stuff like that. Right. If you want to see an example of that in action, I'm going to Discord card that. Number one, you can actually get my best make automations inside the AI Profit Boardroom. So if you actually type make.com here, go to the classroom. We have like 12 different DeepSeek make AI automations right here. So for example, we've got a blog creator and a Telegram bot, but we've also got 10 more make templates right here that you can just import if you just want us to give you the templates, right? But if you want to see an example of it in action, let me show you how that works, all right? So if we scroll down here, we're going to take a look. We've got the DeepSeek V3 content creator example. And let's just check what we got here. All right, output and HTML. Okay, so we've got a Google Sheet with a bunch of keywords. That's going through Open Router, and it's using DeepSeek V3, as you can see, and then that's going to plug that over to WordPress. All right, so basically we're automating content creation, and we're taking a Google Sheet, creating AI content, posting onto WordPress. Now, if you want to test an example and you want to see, okay, how do you do this? So you can choose a keyword manually off the list. So we'll choose manually over here. By the way, I always recommend like content quality control in your content before you publish it. But just as an example, we can put like the keyword Newark SEO from our spreadsheet over here, and then we'll just run this through Open Router and the example workflow right here. All right. So what you can see now is we've built out a very linear workflow where we're taking keywords from Google Sheets. It's now going to create the content, and then it's going to go over to WordPress. Now, if you want to see an example of what I built yesterday with that whilst it's loading, because it is going to be quite slow. You know, it's a beta API. Everyone's using it for free. Everyone's rinsing it for free. All right. So it's going to be a bit slow when you're using this stuff. But if we go to the post section over here and you want to see an example, let me show you an example from yesterday. So this was created yesterday when I was messing around with this stuff. We'll click on preview. And if we open this up, we've got the content as an example right here, published onto WordPress, right? Really simple and easy. At least you use the same workflow as we've got right here, and it was simple stuff, right? That is super slow, but again, it's because everyone's rinsing it and using the API key, and also it's in beta version as well. So you now know how to build anything with AI, right? Just to recap, you've got DeepSeek and the chat. You've got AnyChat and the Hugging Face canvas right there. You've got NA10 one-click AI agents, and you can build pretty much anything you want with that. You can use make.com, create nice little linear automations like so. You can go on to Visual Studio Code and recode and use the API key from DeepSeek 3.1 right there as well. So anything you want to build is right there. The only limit is your imagination and time. And you know, once you set up these automations, they do change everything for you, right? They change everything for your business. They save you hundreds of hours. They're really easy to set up. And you know, you can even just download the templates from our community and then import them right there. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get all of my best workflows, templates, etc., using DeepSeek, we've got a 3-hour course in there on how to, you know, how to make money and save time with AI and DeepSeek. We've also got courses on Manus and NA10 agents and everything else. Feel free to get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Prices are going up this month. It's a community dedicated to making more money and saving time with AI. So make sure you lock in your legacy price now before prices go up. And also inside the classroom, it comes with our best automations on like social media, email, NA10 agents, AI trends and updates, SEO automations, NA10 templates, a crash course on AI, plus all of our best SOPs and workflows to get updated pretty much daily. So if you want to get that, link in the comments description. It also comes with a community, so you can post in the community and ask any questions you have and get answers to your questions like you see right here. And then also you can jump on the weekly Q&As if you want to jump on live call with us and ask us any questions you have. Link in the comments description. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to get that link in the comments description. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales and autopilot. On this free link building acceleration session, you get a free SEO domination plan. So this will be custom, tailored to you and your business. We'll be able to answer any questions you have one-to-one, and you'll learn how to 10x SEO traffic based on what's working for us and our happy clients, like you can see right here. Feel free to get that link in the comments description. Appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye.